I don't know.
Yep, I got it.
Wait.
Yep.
And we may need to hit mute on everyone too. Except for Megan, of course.
Actually, Megan, you'll have to unmute yourself.
Oh boy.
I don't think I can. I might be able to unmute you.
Okay, I think I did it.
Yep, you did. You're good. Okay, so tonight, thanks everybody for coming. Can you guys all hear me? Yeah, you can hear me. Good. We want to make these calls as like efficient and time efficient as possible, because we know that this is part of the time that a lot of people have to work, right? So we don't want these to drag on for hours and hours. So there's tons of recognition all the time. You know, lots of people are crushing their goals and signing new coaches and hitting Success Club and all that stuff. You're all amazing, awesome, don't stop working. But we're gonna do those shout outs on the pages, right? With our shout outs in our team pages. We're not gonna do them on the team calls. They just get too time consuming. So hopefully everyone's okay with that. We do lots of recognition, I know, on all of our pages. So look for it on your team page. Because we know it's a really important part of this business. I know I always love getting a shout out, so it's an important part, but we don't want to waste everybody's time either. We want this to be really time efficient. So we are going to get on with the call. I am so excited to introduce Megan for anyone who doesn't know her. She is one of my personally sponsored coaches and one of my best friends now. We've really connected. I always knew her. We're from the same town. Our friends are actually, or our parents are actually really close friends. So it's kind of funny how we, you know, you connect with different people through Beachbody. It's crazy. I would never have guessed like 20 years ago that we'd be such good friends, but I'm glad we are. So she is going to share how she has built her business. We all know that there's tons of different ways to do this. And Megan decided early on that she was going to do this in more of a private setting. She wasn't comfortable using her public profile. I can remember our first conversation about this, and we kind of decided together that that was the best place for her to start, and clearly it's worked amazingly well for her. So I'm going to let her take over and share with you how she's built her business really, really well. She's 1-star close. She's got some big time goals, and there's no doubt in my mind that she's going to crush them this year. So take it away, Megan.
Okay. So first, I just want to clarify what, like, when you hear, like Amy was talking today about how I run my business through a free support group. I just want to kind of clarify what that means, because people get confused about like free groups, challenge groups, support groups. So a support group is where I run my business from. I also run free challenge groups every month, and I also run free groups every month, like, you know, 5-day clean eating groups, those kinds of things, plus paid challenge groups like 21-day fix groups. And then I have my support group. So that's what I refer to it as, like my health and fitness support group. And this is where my business is run from. So what I'm going to talk about tonight is why I started up a support group versus a like page or using my personal page. I'm going to talk about how I started it and how I've added to my network and what my system for connecting is and what exactly do I post. So I hate technology, first of all. So if you're expecting any slides tonight, I'm sorry. I don't even know how to make slides. I had to borrow my sister-in-law's computer to do this call. So I know nothing about technology. I keep everything super, super simple. I don't do any fancy stuff. I think that's why Michelle and I have really been able to work together very well, because she loves fancy stuff and I hate it. So we make a good team. So anyways, a little bit about me, just in case you don't know, but I became a Beachbody coach about 1.5 years ago. And at that time, I was 5 months pregnant with my 4th baby. So I now have 4 kids under the age of like 6 and under. So I was about 5 months pregnant when I first started this. My husband was actually working out west on the pipeline, and he would be gone for up to 2 to 3 months at a time, completely gone. So if you're sitting there thinking that you can't do this business because you're too busy, like, I'm not saying I'm any busier than you are, but we are all busy. And if you want to make this work, you will make it work. Trust me. I mean, I was on my own with all these little kids. I was working as a registered nurse, pregnant, and I still managed to build a business with it. So you can do it. I promise you. Okay, so why I started up a support group versus a like page or a personal page. I had no clue what a like page was, to be honest. I had no clue, and I had no interest in even figuring out what a like page was. It sounded very confusing to me. I just didn't have the time to start investigating what a like page was. So for me, that wasn't an option. I did not want to go on my personal page either, because the thought of people seeing selfies of me and me, working out and me posting motivational stuff, that scared the crap out of me too. So to be honest, if there wasn't an option of starting up a group, I probably never would have become a coach in the first place. So I started up my group because I didn't want to put myself out there. I really wanted to kind of have a group where I could control who saw my posts. So you're able to make a group either open or closed, or I forget what the settings are called, like public and open, whatever. So I made it closed because I wanted to add people in, control who those people were, and then that way no one on the outside could see what I was doing. So that made me feel very comfortable knowing that I could do that. It also seemed like a more efficient way to build this business, because I knew just from hearing from other coaches that a like page can be very tricky, and you can post and post and post, and hardly anyone will ever see your content. You can make the most amazing post, and maybe no one will see it, or maybe like 3 people will see it. So I just thought if I could post everything in a group, those people are going to get a notification when I post, so they are more likely to actually see my content. So if you're thinking of starting up a group, I personally would choose to make it an open group. And I know I didn't do that in the beginning because I was very self-conscious about putting myself out there. And if that's where you're at, that's fine. Keep it closed if that's what makes you comfortable. But there's a lot of reasons why having an open group is really beneficial too, because I found after, a couple months of me having this open or this closed group, people were messaging me saying, I'm trying to share this recipe that you posted, but I can't share it because it's a closed group. And I got to a point where I wanted to get out there a little bit more, and I was feeling a little bit more confident about what I was doing, but I knew I wasn't making it onto anyone's news feed because of the settings that I had in my group, and no one could share my stuff, therefore no one was seeing my stuff. So if you are confident enough, I guess, and open to it, I would open up your group right from the beginning. That's my suggestion. So I did end up opening up my group maybe like 6 months into my business. I decided, okay, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to make it public. And I did do that. And it was great, because then when I would tag people, their friends were seeing my posts, and I just had some more people requesting to be added into my group because they were finally seeing it on Facebook. So I'll go into number 2 now, how I started it. So what I did in the beginning was I created what we call a grand opening post. So hopefully this is something that you all have done when you originally started your business, and hopefully it's something that you do ongoing, is a grand opening post. So announcing that you're a Beachbody coach and what you're doing and why you're doing this. So that's what I did, is I created this little blurb about me being a mom and, not really having anything else besides my kids and my husband. And this was just a really great kind of hobby for me, and I wanted to share it with others. So I also then added in people to this group. So I had about 300 friends on Facebook at the time, and I added in, I think, about 120 women or so into this group. So basically I just went through my whole list of friends and I added in anyone that was a woman, because I didn't really want any men being in this group. So I just went through and like invite, added all of these, like everyone. So if you have only 75 people in your support group, but you have 500 friends on Facebook, that shouldn't be the case. You need to get all of those women that you are friends with and get them into your group. Because if you're not posting on your personal page, they're not seeing anything. So get them, just add in everybody. If they want to leave, they will leave. They get a notification that they've been added. And if they want to stay, they will click join. And if they want to leave, they will click leave. So it's as simple as that. They have an option. So I started just from day one posting about my journey. Like I said, I was pregnant, so it was very easy for me to share about myself, about my pregnancy, about being, my husband gone and me not sleeping and, the baby and all of that kind of stuff. So I had lots of stuff to post about. I was told, in team calls that I would listen to on YouTube and whatnot, make sure you're posting 3 to 5 times a day. And that scared me when I first heard that, because I thought, what the hell am I going to post about 3 to 5 times a day? Like, that's a lot of posts, especially when you're first starting out. And then in the same sentence, I would hear top coaches say, but don't ever post just to post. And that's always been in my head. Don't ever post just to post, because it's a filler post and it is a waste of time. And people don't want to scroll through your page and just see just waste of time posts, right? Like filler posts. What's the point? There's no point in doing filler posts. So personally, when I started, I honestly probably did 1 post a day, maybe 2 posts a day. But my posts, they were good posts. They were about me, and they were offering value to people that were reading it. I took time to create that 1 or 2 posts a day. So I knew it was really, really good content that people would engage on, that they would like, that they would comment. I would ask for advice. I would ask parenting advice. It was never just filler posts. And I'm always really just careful to make sure that I'm not posting just to post. So even now I post 3 times a day. Sometimes it'll only be 2 times a day. Sometimes maybe it's 4, depending on what's going on in my day. But I still make sure they are quality posts and not just posting just to get a post up. And with a group, people get a notification that you're posting. So if I am posting, 5 times a day in my group, and my members are getting a notification, Megan has posted, Megan has posted, Megan has posted. Like, that gets annoying if they go and look and it's not anything relevant, or just a quote that I found and not offering value, they're probably going to turn their notifications off because they're annoyed, or they're going to leave the group, which I can't blame them, right? And that's fine if they turn the notifications off. They'll still see in their news feed me pop up, but I didn't want people to turn their notifications off. So I really tried to keep it just good posts. So in the beginning, I was posting, I was getting, good feedback on my posts. Like, people were commenting, people were liking, but I knew, the vital behavior, inviting, that was hanging over my head. And I was not doing that in the beginning. I was never inviting. And truth be told, I probably said, I'm never going to invite anyone. I don't care if I don't build a business with this. I'm not inviting. That is terrifying to invite someone. But then I heard a team call, and I think it was by Bonnie Engel, and she said that she doesn't think of it as inviting. She thinks of it as connecting, connect. And a light bulb went off. I was like, connect, I can do that. I have no problem connecting with people. So I decided right then and there that I had this group of 120 people. I'm going to start connecting with them. So this is how simple I am. I don't have any fancy apps or systems online or anything. I literally got paper and pen out, And I went to my members list in my group and I hand wrote out every single person that was in my group. And I have that in a binder. And like literally the very first name is Michelle Moore. She was the first person I added into my group. So I have everyone's name. I went ahead and wrote down 120 names. And each day I picked the first 10 people, and I sent them a little message. And I just would say, you know, thank you so much for being part of my group. You know, I love connecting with other women. Is there anything specific you'd like to see in this group? You know, are you working towards any health and fitness goals yourself? Hope to hear back from you. So it was a very simple message that I sent out, and I sent that to 10 people every single day. And all of a sudden I was connecting with people. People were messaging me back, and, you know, they were telling me about themselves. They were saying, well, actually, I'm really interested in joining one of your groups. So many people never responded and still have never responded. But then people started commenting on my posts more. They started liking my posts more. So it just created this relationship that I didn't have with them yet. So I started doing that, you know, 10 people a day, like I said. But I only had 120 people in my group. So it was not going to take long before those people, I had messaged them, and then what? Who the heck was I going to connect with? So I knew right away that I needed to add to my network. And if you are not adding to your network right now, everybody on this call, your business is going nowhere. Like it is a dead end business if you are not adding to your network. It is vital. And so now the $1 million question is, how do you add to your network? And honestly, how I figured it out, I went to YouTube and I typed in the search engine, adding to my Beachbody network or finding new friends to connect with, like, and I would put Beachbody so that team calls from other Beachbody coaches would come up. And honestly, that's what I did. I didn't, you know, just sit and go, oh, I don't know how I'm going to get friends or how should I get friends. I just went and I went to YouTube. And that's honestly still to this day what I do with everything that I'm struggling with. I go to YouTube because there is a team call for absolutely everything that you're struggling with. Every subject that you have a question on, there is a team call on it, that subject, I promise you. So what I did is the first thing that I heard about on YouTube from a team call was to start friend requesting people. So I did that because that's what the top coaches were doing. That's what I did. So I went to my friends of friends list on Facebook and I started adding 10 friend requests each day. And I made sure that the mutual friends we had weren't, you know, my coach, for instance, because if Michelle's friends with them, she's probably connected with them. So I didn't want her friends, right? I wanted like friends, you know, my high school friends that I was friends with, like that kind of thing. So just be careful of who you are friend requesting. So I started doing 10 friend requests every single day. And I did this for about a month straight. The other thing that I did to expand my network was I joined groups, which is also what I was told to do on YouTube, was to join like mom groups or whatever it is you're interested in. So I joined a bunch of breastfeeding groups because at this point, I think I'd had my baby. So I wanted to connect with other moms, and I joined like organic moms, and which be careful what kind of groups you join because I'm not organic. So then all of a sudden I was connecting with these women that were like major organic, and we really didn't have a lot in common, turns out. But the point was I was in these groups and I was connecting with people. And I never went in there and started posting about Beachbody or like, who wants to join me? But I went in there with like legitimate problems. Like I got thrush when I was breastfeeding and mastitis. So I went in there and posted about that. And did anyone have suggestions? And anyone that would comment back, I would reply to their comment and, you know, and I might shoot them a friend request. And that was another way that I was getting new friends into my network, which I'll talk about what I did with those friends in a minute. But another thing I kind of played around with was Pinterest. Pinterest is a huge, like, I think it's like a gold mine, Pinterest. There are so many women on Pinterest, and it is so easy to find people just like you on Pinterest. So I played around with that a little bit. There's some good team calls about Pinterest and how to find people. And then after I'd had my group up and running for a little bit, I started doing giveaways in my group. Sorry, I just have a drink going. So what I would do is I would post in my group and I would just say, like, it's giveaway time. You know, I'm looking for other women to connect with. Surely you have some friends that would benefit from, I would say women, like surely you have some women that could benefit from a group like this. I would love to connect with them. So whoever adds in, you know, 5 women will get their name in a hat, or if you add in 10 women, you'll get your name in twice, that kind of thing. So basically I was asking the members in my group who I had already connected with. I had already established a good relationship with these people. So I felt okay about, you know, asking them to help me out. And I did that. And the first time I did it, I think I had like 300 or 400 people added into my group. So all of a sudden my group had like more than doubled because they added in their friends, because they liked my group. They liked me. So they wanted their friends to join. Obviously not everyone stays. You know, they would get added in and it wasn't their thing, and that's fine, and they would leave. But that was a really good way, and that's something I do now still, and I always get big numbers added in. But, you know, I don't suggest doing that until you really have your group up and running well, and you're connecting with the people in your group. Then I think it's effective to do it. And the last way that I add people into my network is when I run free challenges, like 5-day clean eating groups or my challenge groups. I always give away bonus points for people that add their friends into my health and fitness support group. So each group I run, each challenge group I run, I'll have, you know, a handful of women being added into my support group that I can then connect with. Okay, so that's kind of how I was able to build up my group to get more people in there to connect with. So the number 4 thing I'm going to talk about is my system. And you need your own system. Like, you have to have a system of how you are connecting with people and how you are keeping track of people. A system is key. So like I said, when I first decided to start connecting with the people in my group, I clicked on members. And when you're on your computer, if you go into members, you can actually click on join date, and it will filter all the people based on the date that they were added into your group. So the people at the very top of the list will be the most recent people that were added into your group. So like I said, I was messaging 10 people from my original people that were added into the group, asking how they liked the group, did they have any goals. I was doing that to 10 people a day. At the same time, I was friend requesting 10 people a day. And when they accepted my friend request, what I would do is I would immediately, like not immediate when they would accept my friend request, but the first thing I would do with them once they had accepted my friend request is I would add them right into my group. That was the first thing I did, because we were friends, like friends, not really, but friends. I would add them in right away. And then I would send them a message. And sometimes I would wait maybe like 24 hours to see if they stayed in my group, because some would leave right away. But if they stayed, I would send them a message and I would say, you know, thank you so much for accepting my friend request. You know, it's nothing creepy, I swear. I always like to throw that in there. But I did notice we had a couple mutual friends, and I'm always looking for other women to connect with. I've added you into my health and fitness support group. You know, I hope you don't mind. If it's not your thing, don't worry about it. You can leave, you know, but I also say in it what the point of the group is. Like, I post lots of recipes. I post tips and tricks for staying healthy and fit. And I, you know, you can see how I survive as a mom of 4 little kids. So just so they know a little bit about me and what the point of the group is. And some leave, others reply back and say, sounds great, sounds like a great group. And other people don't respond at all. That's just the nature of the game. But that's what I was doing every single day, are those things. And I had it on a little list beside my computer, and I made sure that I did those. So I was connecting with old people, I was bringing in new people, and I was connecting with the new people. So those two things are key in this business, is private messaging people. You can have amazing posts on your page, but if you are not privately messaging people individually and making it like, individual to them, that's how you build this business and build connections. So I'm constantly adding to my list of people. That list of 120 names, it kept growing. I kept adding names to it every single day based on who accepted my friend request and who went into my group. So all of a sudden I had pages and pages of people's names, and I had a contact list. So then when I was getting ready to fill a challenge group or a free group, and maybe I didn't have a lot of interest when I would post about it in my group, I could go to that contact list and I could send them a go for no, or I could just send them a straight up invite to see if they would like to join my challenge group, because I've already connected with them. So it wasn't me, this random person, sending them a go for no or inviting them to a challenge group, because I've already connected with them. We've already established a relationship. So I felt okay about inviting them to a challenge group. So that was my system then. My system now is a little bit different because my network has grown quite a bit. So when my group started, I had 120 people, like I said. Today I have just over 2,300. So in a short amount of time, I've been able to grow my group to huge numbers. And it keeps growing every single day. So now I'm not having to go and friend request random people in the Facebook world. I have them already in my group. So each day, and I still do the exact same things that I was doing a year and a half ago, it's just a little bit different. I now am friend requesting people in my group already. So I go to my list of members, and I click on join date, and I scroll down to the last person that I connected with, and I friend request the next 10 people that are in my group. And then, the next day I will go and look at who accepted my friend request, and I will send them a message, a welcome message, like, thanks for joining my group. I ask them about their goals. I tell them a little bit about myself. It's a very short message because their attention span is very, very small. So it's like five sentences basically. And I send them this message, and I send that to anyone who accepts my friend request. This is where I hope it doesn't get confusing, but if they didn't accept my friend request, I still send them a message, because Facebook has changed a little bit. And before, like even a few months ago, if you sent someone who you weren't friends with a message, it would be filtered into this other folder, and they may never see your message. I probably sent like hundreds of people messages, and they never received them because it's like sitting in this other folder. So now people will get a notification that they have a message request from someone that they are not friends with. So you're now able to send messages to people that you're not friends with, which I think is really cool. So you're probably asking, then why bother friend requesting these people? And this is just my personal preference. I think that when you're actually officially friends on Facebook, you just have a different level of connection, because I'm able to see them in my newsfeed. If I happen to have time to scroll the newsfeed, I might see little things about them. They're going to see things about me more often if we're friends. Like if we're connecting through private messaging, more of my posts are going to show up in their newsfeed, because that's just how Facebook works. So I still want to friend request these people. Even though they're already in my group, I want to become friends with them. And worst case, they don't accept my friend request, I still send them a message. I still try and connect with them. So I do this every single day. It is like a non-negotiable for me. This is like if I can't do anything that day, I will at least do that, is connect with those people. So now I do have a like page. I started it up, I don't know, like maybe 6 months ago or so. I still don't really like a like page. I find it confusing and a lot of work. It is valuable, don't get me wrong. But now what my like page, for me, my like page is like a vehicle to find people in the world outside of my warm market that I can connect with and like dump in my support group, because I think that I have a really good group and that I do great posts. So if I can get people into that group, I feel like they're going to connect with me. If we are the same type of person, we will connect in that group. So that's what the purpose of my like page is to just get them immediately into my support group as fast as I can, basically. Like if someone likes my post on my like page, I'm shooting them a message or I'm sending them a friend request. I'm trying to connect with them and get them into my support group. All right, so what do I post? Before I kind of go into what I post, I want you to just really think about your own page, your like page, however it is you're running your business. Just really think about your own page and ask yourself, would you want to follow you? Like if you were added into your own group, would you find it valuable? Would you want to stay if someone added you in? Scroll through, like a couple days worth of your posts and see if you're getting anything out of it. If you were a stranger being added into that page, would you enjoy it? Are you offering value? People are going to buy a challenge pack from you and join you, on your team as a coach because they like you, not because they like Beachbody, but because they like you as a person. They might even look up to you if they've been following you for a while. They trust you. They might want to be just like you. I've been like out at Costco. I swear to God, it happens almost every time I'm at Costco because it's probably the only time I leave my house really. And people will like come up to me, and my group is called Fit to Be a Mama. And people will be like, are you fit to be a mama? And like, it's actually kind of embarrassing. But they feel like they know me. And I don't know who they are at all, but they feel like they know me because of the posts I create. And I try and relate to people. So you got to make sure you're doing that in your posts. You're relating to people, and you want to attract people, and you want people to really, really like you. That's why they're going to join you. So if you're having trouble hitting Success Club each month or connecting with people, I really suggest you look at your page and just ask yourself if you're showing the real you. It's your reality show. Don't be surface level. Don't just post about your workouts and the foods you're eating. Post about your struggles and about, just like the real you. Like I one time posted a picture of me sitting cross-legged on the floor, and I pulled my shirt up and I grabbed like handfuls of my stomach, which when I'm standing up, you can't see that, but I've had 4 kids, and when I sit down, it's like there's a lot of stuff there. And I posted that, and people loved that I did that. And I had so many people message me about that because I showed that I was real and that I did not have this perfect body, and that, I struggle with insecurities as well. So you need to show people that. So each morning I post my workout, or I'll post my lack of a workout. Maybe that was because I was up all night long breastfeeding a baby or up with a sick kid, but I will always post something first thing in the morning, and people expect that from me. It's always in between 6 and 7, you will see a post from me, for sure. And I try and offer motivation in that post. It might be a picture, like a post workout selfie, but I try and add motivation to that. So I'll find a motivational quote on Pinterest and I'll use that as my post, and just tie it back into kind of my life and how that's relating to me. And I always like hashtag in the morning Megan's morning motivation. So I just kind of got into the habit of doing that. And then in the afternoon, I'll usually post like a recipe. I love cooking. I love baking. So I'm always trying new recipes. So I always try and post a recipe that I've actually made, not just like a Pinterest image, something that I've actually created myself. Or I'll post about the kids. A lot of the time in the afternoon, that's when I post kind of like a coaching post, not a join my team type post, but that coach life, like a hashtag that coach life post, because I'll be usually sitting at my desk working. And so I'll post about that. And I just make it very simple. This afternoon, I think I did something like I was drinking coffee and I took a selfie at my computer and I said, like, don't mind me, just over here, like creating the life of my dreams or something. I forget what I said, but just very simple stuff like that. I try and work coaching into my posts every day if I can, but if not, a few times a week for sure. And it's very subtle. It's not in your face type, join my team kind of thing. But the one time when I first started making an income with this, I grabbed my Costco bill and I got a magic marker and I wrote paid across it, and I held it up and took a picture. And I talked about how I had paid my Costco bill that month with my income from Beachbody. And that attracted a lot of people onto that. Everyone, like, you can relate to that, right? Paying your Costco bill, that's amazing. Everyone wants that. When I had my biggest paycheck just a couple weeks ago, I took a picture of me with a wine glass and I, was celebrating because I had my biggest paycheck. So I talk about that kinds of things. I'm always taking selfies at my desk when I'm working, and I talk about my challengers a lot, the challenge groups I'm running, their successes, my own successes. I talk a lot about, when baby naps, mama hustles with heart, that kind of thing. If there's a new coach training starting, like, which there always is a new coach training, talk about that. No one has to know that you maybe don't have any coaches in that new coach training, because the people that are watching you, they don't know your level of success right now. So fake it till you make it. That's my biggest advice to you when you're posting. People have no clue that you have no coaches, or that your mom and your husband are your only coach, or that you have 30 diamond coaches on your team. They don't know it. So act like you have this big empire and create posts that show your confidence about what it is you're doing. Because if you wait until you have a team to post about that, well, you're never going to attract a team, because you want to make yourself sound successful. So fake it till you make it, for sure. I think that's all I had. But I will take questions, because I do much better talking about questions.
Does anybody have any questions for Megan? Don't be shy. She's full of information for everybody. So just unmute yourself and ask away.
Can you hear me? Question for Megan, actually.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you so much, because there's a lot of value in what you just shared. And I promise you guys, if you guys go into your free groups and you share like she said to do, you'll have awesome success. You just have to be consistent with it. I have actually been, looking at Megan's group, and I did join it just to see what's going on in there. And Megan, do you set the post just to you posting? Because I notice you're in there posting a lot, but I don't see a lot of other people posting. Or do they just mostly post under your posts? I didn't know if you had a certain setting that you do.
Yeah, I know there is a setting that you can put so that, people have to be approved, that you have to approve people's posts. I've never done that, but yeah, people don't really post in there. But personally, I kind of like that. Like, I don't want it to be, it's not a challenge group.
Mm-hmm.
It's my business page. And I don't want it to become a group where people start to post in there and, posting about their stuff, because this might make me sound kind of conceited, but I think people are in that group because they want to see me. Mm-hmm. They want to hear about my journey and my story. They don't really want to hear about random, Sally
mm-hmm.
and her workout this morning. Like, so that's what my challenge groups are for. My challenge groups are for everybody to post in. This is my page and my journey, my business page. So luckily I haven't really had, like, occasionally I get someone post something in there, but for the most part, it's just me.
I noticed that it's very neat and clean looking, and it's all you, which is awesome. But I just wondered if you had something in like your group description that said something about posting, or if you had it set to people not posting. So I always have people posting on my page, and it does start to look messy. So I just wondered if you had something that you did.
Yeah, I don't. In my welcome message, when I send it to people who are coming into the group, I never specify in that message, like, feel free to post anything. I don't ever say that. I do say feel free to add your friends in, but I don't encourage it. So maybe that's why it doesn't happen. I don't know.
Oh, that's cool. No, I like it. Awesome.
I have a quick question. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
My question was, well, it kind of follows along the same lines as
Devin, I think we lost you.
hear me?
Now we can, I think.
Okay. So question kind of goes along the same lines as Amy's, but like when I run 5-day free challenges, sometimes we do like, I don't know, they're kind of personal, like some of the questions, and so we kind of have built a community, and like I want people to respond. Do you find that because it's open, people aren't super open in your group?
Well, I'm not like, I don't like, what kind of questions do you mean?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so like sometimes it'll be like I'm struggling with, we struggle with anxiety and depression. Does anybody else, like, let's talk about it? Or I can't remember what we talked. Oh, yesterday in my group we talked about validation and how like strong women in the world don't need to be validated, but then I wanted a group discussion.
Yeah, so I do that kind of thing in my challenge groups. Like I would post something like that in my challenge group for my challengers. So I have that separate, right? Like this is like for all you people who have like a like page, this is my version of a like page, I guess, my support group. And then I run my challenge groups and I run my free fitness groups. So I don't really like, I talk about like my own struggles and stuff, and people do comment on it, but yeah, I don't know. Does that help?
It does. What you run your free challenge, 5-day challenges you run them in that group, right?
No, I run them completely separate.
Oh, your 5-day ones you run separate?
Yeah, like if I'm running a free group, like a free clean eating group or something, it's a whole separate group.
Oh, okay. Because I run mine in my free group.
Yeah,
like
I don't do that. I just keep it all separate.
Okay.
Because I think your whole thing, Megan, was that you didn't have a like page, so you wanted something where you could share your story and talk about coaching and talk about your fitness journey without having all the challenges and mini challenges and it's my business page. That is where I run my business from. And then I have other groups. Like I have tons of other groups. Every month I have a free group and a challenge group, and I'm always running other groups outside of my big group, but that's where I run my business. Yeah.
That helps. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Questions.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So my group page is at, I think I have about 650, and I have a lot of people messaging me on my inbox, but I don't have a lot of actual like feedback in the actual group. Like, I mean, you get the odd like here and there, and I feel like maybe I'm not, I don't know, it's just not very active. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, so you're just not getting a lot of likes and comments on your posts?
Yeah. And then I'll get like messages and be like, oh, that was a great post. I really like that. Or, I'm always getting feedback on my inbox, but not as much on my actual page.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends. Like some posts obviously accumulate a little bit more, but.
Yeah. And I think it's common, right? Like for that to happen. And it probably happened to me in the beginning as well. And I remember hearing on a call one time was that it's like when you're out going for a run or a walk on a sidewalk and you're going down a highway, a busy highway, and there's tons of cars going up and down, up and down. And, once in a while, someone might honk at you or someone might wave at you as you're going by. But for the most part, no one's really paying any attention to you, but they are all seeing you. They are all taking note of you being there, walking along that sidewalk. They're just not publicly acknowledging you.
Yeah.
So, I think that could be what's happening, but
like they're watching.
Yeah, they're watching, right? But also at the same time, are you giving them a reason to like or comment? Like when what your post is are you giving them a reason to like it? I guess.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say. Or a reason to comment. Are you asking a question or like, that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Which I think you are, because I see your posts. So I'm just more generalizing that.
No, I know. I'm just wondering, maybe I've done a couple where I've like tried to get like, okay, are you a coffee drinker? What do you take in your coffee? Like more interactive questions.
Mm-hmm.
And I still don't really, I don't know. And then like I went to a gathering tonight, so I was late coming on, and everybody's like, oh, so what's this coaching thing you're doing now? I'm like, oh God. I'm like, I don't even want to get into it. Because, it was like my family. There was like, and I was like, I'm not in the mood right now to talk about it, or,
Send me a message.
Like, oh, it seems like you're doing really well. I'm like, oh yeah, it's great. Anyways, next.
Yeah. So they're seeing it, right? Like, and I think it just takes, like, I never, ever, ever liked or commented on Michelle's posts. Never. Even in her challenge group, I never commented or liked. I was like invisible. So people are watching, and you just have to just believe that they are, and, hope that you're attracting the right people and giving them a reason to follow you.
I guess that's more, yeah. Maybe I'm hoping.
And, I think it's important to know too that every free group, every free fitness support group is different. The way Megan runs hers is kind of atypical. It's a little different than maybe how some people will run hers, but that's because that's how she wanted to start things off, because she didn't want to share a lot on her personal page. For someone that shares things on their personal page or their like page, your fitness support group doesn't have to be exactly like Megan's. It can be just like, like on mine. I just share my workouts, I share recipes, I share healthy tips, but you can add in some of the things that Megan's suggesting, which is great. The giveaways are awesome. Bonus points in your challenge groups for people that are added into your free fitness support group. Those are all great ways to expand your fitness support group. It doesn't have to be exactly like Megan's, but hers is just awesome because that's what she wanted it to be. And it's working great for her, but things may work differently for you. Okay. Just so you guys know that it's okay if your fitness support group is a little different, but there's ways to like put a lot of spins on it that she has, but doing it your own way. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah. And I hope I didn't confuse people, because I know that the way I do it is not the way like some of your coaches, maybe Amy, do it. All of my coaches now do exactly what I have done, because that's just what they've seen. So now all of my coaches run their business through a support group.
Right. And I love that. I think it's awesome. It is.
Yeah. So it seems normal for my little team, but I think in like the big Beachbody world, it's not really a normal way of running the business, but it can be effective too. So it's,
yeah. And the layout of your group aside, there's so many, other great takeaways that you shared that, people can put and add on to their support group, whether it's, talking about coaching more. That's one thing I don't do enough. And when I saw what Megan was doing, I was like, I need to talk about coaching more in my free fitness support group. Because just like she said, I think the biggest takeaway to what she said was they don't know your level of success. Like I always have people tell me, I don't think I can post about coaching because I've only been a coach for like a month and I don't know what to say. I'm not experienced at coaching. Well, do what Megan suggested and, fake it till you make it, right? And really just pretend that you're this rock star coach and that you are going to be, and post about coaching. So.
Because no one knows.
Exactly.
Outside of us, no one has any clue how successful or unsuccessful you are. So act like you are successful.
Yeah.
They're none the wiser. All your friends and your family, they have no clue. So be successful. Just choose to be a successful diamond coach, even if you're not even an emerald.
Mm-hmm. Good point. Awesome. And be real and be yourself. And Megan said, share the imperfections, because that's what people really love to see, is that you're not perfect. I remember, just like you said, you posted your rolls. There's one time I posted when I was in plank position and how I was standing and how I had everything was tight. But then when I was in my plank position, it was sagging, and I circled it with a little marker on my Facebook. And I was pointed an arrow to it. And I said, look, everyone's not perfect. And I can't remember how many likes I got on that, but it was crazy because it was real and people relate to that. So I think that's another huge takeaway.
Yeah. I'll just add to that too. I know, I didn't make money for the first little bit when I was a new Beachbody coach, and I was struggling, how do I post about coaching when I'm not really making any money? Mm-hmm. And I found that when I started posting about what coaching has done for me in terms of the accountability and my own fitness journey, those were my coaching posts. It was what Beachbody has done for me to be a coach, to be accountable. It's really hard for me to not get my workout in or not eat healthy. It's actually really easy for me not to do those things. But if I then have to make a post in my group, it just keeps you accountable. And so I think that I connected with some people on that level, because it was, how am I going to go and eat that if I just posted this healthy, clean recipe? So there's other ways that you can sprinkle in that coach success without it having to be a Costco bill paid, which is awesome. But if you're not there yet, I think you can still find different content to talk about the coaching opportunity as more accountability and your journey as in your own health and fitness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I talk about it a lot too. Just how I literally since I started having kids 6 years ago, I have done nothing but had kids and been pregnant and breastfeeding and pregnant and breastfeeding. That's all I've done for 6 years. And I talk a lot about how my husband, on the other hand, has hobbies. He has a Harley and he goes riding every Thursday night with his little motorcycle friends, and he does side jobs and he works and he, goes to whoever, wherever, he gets to do whatever he wants, because as a father and a husband, it's easier for them to leave than it is for us. And so for me, I post a lot about that and how finally I have something. I've never had anything before, and now I'm the one that has a hobby and I have something that I'm passionate about. So I talk a lot about that in my posts. Almost daily, I'd say I throw that in, because to me, that is what coaching has done for me, big time.
I think it's important to remember, even if you have just been a coach for 4 hours, there's a reason why you signed up. There's something that has made you do this. And that's what you need to share with people. For a long time, I didn't talk about coaching at all. I thought it was icky. I didn't want anyone to know I was doing it. And I know that was a real error on my part. I should have been sharing the reasons why. When I saw Amy's post, what made me say I'm in? Something that day made me say, I want to do this. I want to make a change. And those are the types of things that people are going to relate to. That's why I try and teach our team now, right away, start getting comfortable sharing what you're feeling. It doesn't have to have anything to do with money. Becoming a coach, to a lot of people has nothing to do with money. It's not about making the $500 or $10,000 as a 15-star coach. Nobody gets that. The normal person doesn't understand any of that language, right? I remember reading Amy was 5-star and she made 6 figures. And I said to Terry, I don't know what she is, but she's 5-star and she makes 6 figures. And Terry's like, Michelle, 6 figures can mean a whole bunch of stuff. What level is that 6 figures? That doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people. It doesn't relate to a lot of people. But having a hobby or being able to pay for your drugstore bill or whatever, just share what's really you're feeling about it right now. Even if you just signed up today, why did you do it? What's the reason? You know, did you want accountability? Did you want friends? For me, I've never found any people that get me. Like, people used to not get me at all. And now I have like this whole little tribe of people that get me. It's the coolest thing ever. So I share that all the time. I mean, you gotta get, the only way you're gonna build a real awesome business is building a team. I, for months, thought I could do this by selling challenge packs. I was so resistant to building a team. And I can tell you, I sold the shit out of challenge packs. You will not out challenge pack sell me. You won't. Like, I did crazy amount of work to sell these challenge packs so I could increase my paycheck every week. I'm like such a goal setter. I wanted it to be higher and higher and higher. And you can only go so far. You're only one person. There's only so many challenge packs to sell. You have to build a team if you want this to be life-changing. It's just the way it is. So you have to step out of your comfort zone. And the earlier you do that, like, don't do what I did, like, do it earlier. And then you're so comfortable doing it. And and I'm so glad Megan listened to me when I told her, because she just does it so naturally because she's always done it. It's never a big deal to her. So the earlier you can share that stuff, the better. And it doesn't sound icky when you're just telling the truth. Mm-hmm. It sounds like it's coming from your heart.
Mm-hmm. Agree.
Agree. Any other questions for Megan, or for anything? Any challenges you guys have had this week? Or
Me.
Who was that?
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, so for anybody, Amy or Michelle or Darlene, when it comes to the value, I have a difficult time finding new things to offer for free value.
So, sorry, I wanted to see who was talking. It's Tanya, right?
That's okay, yes. So, like, I have this problem, and it might be my own, because I am in the medical field. I don't like to share just these random tips that I see that I know to either be false or that I don't know are actually proven to be true. So where do you guys find value besides recipes?
Oh, have
like
you been on my page? I don't merit value.
Michelle just is herself.
I share a lot of like motivation.
Yeah.
Because I just can relate to people making excuses, because I don't really like to work out. I've never really liked it. And I don't ever sleep because of all these kids that I have that friggin' don't sleep. So every morning I wake up and I have excuses as to why I shouldn't have to work out. So I like to throw those in my morning posts, like, excuses that we all have. So I offer a lot of motivation that way. I lost my train of thought, but I did have something I was going to say. Value.
I think you have to, like, people follow you for you. Like, the people that follow me, they dig that I have no value. They dig that I'm just like motivation in the morning,
giving yourself a credit.
I'm swearing in the afternoon, and I'm telling everybody I can't cook. Like, I get messages every day. I totally relate to you. I love that you post the same recipe every week because you make it every week. Like, you just have to be you. Like, it would be ridiculous for me to start sharing health facts. Like, people would be like, what in the hell is she talking about? She's crazy. Like, you just have to, whatever is you, Tanya, that's what you share. Like, what's in your heart? Like, share what you know. And yeah, like, you're the value. The facts aren't the value. You are the value. That is what people want. Like, the value is the Beachbody, like the Beachbody programs and all those factual kind of things that we're going to help them with. That's all taken care of. Now you have to find the people that really connect with you. And I mean, there's probably 10 people on this call that connect with me, and the rest of you are like, oh my God, I'm glad she's not my coach. That's crazy. Like, you want me, right? Like, we're not the same. So you have to find like your tribe, your people, and they're going to relate to anything you like. I don't know. Like Megan posts all these awesome, like she goes out to her garden and picks a zucchini and viralizes it. And, you know, like that would be ridiculous for me to do. I just say, oh, my coach posted this recipe. I'm going to her house to eat it. Like, you know, you have your own thing. And that's what you have to sort of tap into. And that's not easy sometimes to figure out what's your deal. But I don't know that it has to be facts. Like,
I don't think you need to be like going online and researching every day about things. Like, you know, as far like when I say giving free value, and like that's not what I mean really, is like, you know, I don't think any of us should have to like research things, but if it's something interests you, then research it, I guess.
And I think,
yeah, I think too, I'm talking, I hear a lot of it too on other boards where they do talk about the free value and offering up free info to people. I think it might even be more so not the people in your group, but like page people that are complete strangers. You have to give, you know, even like Gary Vee says, you give away free stuff, you give away in order to earn the respect to ask for somebody. So I just was curious what you guys all had done, but that's all good information. Thank you.
well, I don't really think that it has to be like, you know, stats or facts. I think that if you objection handle, like think about all the objections you get every day. I don't have time to work out, and you could just post a sweaty workout and be like, I just got my workout done in 22 flipping minutes, right? Like I can do it, you can do it. And then, you know, other objections we get every single day, you can just combat those in your posts, and that's providing value. You know, that's answering questions that all of your followers are going to have every single day. If you do that consistently, you're going to get people to join you.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Our job as a coach is to motivate people. Like I tell our team all the time, we are cheerleaders. We are not Beachbody billboards. We are not nutritionists. We're not personal trainers. We are the cheerleader, the motivator. So that I think is our value. You know, that's the value that we add to people's lives. We have a gift to motivate. We love to do that. And so for me, every single morning, and I have a support page and I have a like page. So I post on both of those. I don't do the same post, but it's always been motivational in the morning. Every single morning, both pages, it's motivational. And then once a day in both pages, I post an answer to an objection. So I have a list of objections on a piece of paper, and I just think up a different way to answer that question or answer that objection in a public way with a selfie. So it's really the value that I add is just motivating people to do whatever they want to do. I just want women to be happy. It doesn't mean they have to join my team, but I want to motivate them in some way. That is my purpose when I wake up every morning, is I hope that I've motivated at least one woman. I wake up and I think that every single day. And that's the value that I add to them, or I believe that I do.
Mm-hmm. I think your personal development too, that's how you can add good value, right? Is whatever you're reading, have a highlighter with you and highlight and use that as your morning post, for instance, or, you know, your evening post or something. That's what I'll do is just kind of take a quote from the book that I'm reading and talk about that. So that offers value. I think people love seeing stuff like that.
I lately, because I've been lazy, I go on WordSwag and you can actually they have quotes there for you. So I'll just go, if it's morning, I'll pick the good morning and I'll flip through until I find something and I'll click that one and then I'll just write a post about it. Like if that spoke to me, it's going to speak to someone in my group, right? So there's so many easy ways to get motivation, and that's our job. So that's what I feel like I'm supposed to be doing every day.
Mm-hmm.
Google. Just Google it.
Just Google morning motivation. That's what I do.
Yeah. We're kind of simple.
There's an actual app for that.
Sorry?
I said there's an actual app for that.
Is there? Oh, I need that.
WordSwag app.
Yeah, WordSwag.
I love that.
I just put it in Google and then it all came up like apps. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, WordSwag has changed my business in like the last 2 weeks.
Has the words right in there. Just pop them
Oh
on.
my God.
I don't know. Megan missed the call that I told everyone about word swag, and I told her about it a couple weeks ago, and she's swagging all over the place.
Swagging. Like, I'm not kidding.
I noticed that.
If you don't have like technical skills, or if you're talking to someone who doesn't know how to use technology, I swear to God, if I can do it, anybody can do it. I promise.
Oh gosh. Okay, it's 10:05. My calls never last less than an hour. I'm sorry, guys.
Time for bed.
If anyone has any last little question now or forever, hold your peace. Okay, thanks, Megan.
Yes, thank you. So much good stuff. Thank you so much for sharing, Megan.
You're
And thank
welcome.
everyone for spending their Wednesday night with us.
Yes, thank you guys.
Right.
Good night, everyone.